Hello and welcome to another episode of the Carlos M Show. I'm Carlos M, your host. The show of the regular American guy and gal, uh, where we don't tell you what to think. We just put out things that make you think, things that make you go, sometimes. So, with that said, we're going to talk a little bit about the hearings that are going on today with Secretary Austin, General Milley, and General McKenzie. I watched some of these hearings today, and there's some of the senators ask good questions. Some of them just like the grandstand. Most of them like the grandstand and make statements uh, that really have nothing to do with what's going on at the time, which is trying to get some answers. Uh, General Milley spoke on his opening statement about his talks with China, with his Chinese counterparts, and trying to justify his phone calls and trying to make it look like it's a routine thing. Of course, he was confronted by some senators regarding that. That being said, they talked a little bit about that, and with that, it was proven as far as well, he did not deny, if you will, the fact that he had ordered, in so many words, his other commanders to report to him if anything was going on as far as any kind of orders coming from the commander in chief at the time, which was President Trump, and that they were to report to him first, that he wanted to be in the loop. That, in fact, is inserting yourself in the chain of command any way you look at it. That's my opinion. You may have a different opinion about it. Uh, but in my opinion, he did insert himself in the chain of command, which is a big no-no for an advisor. Of course, we all know that once you get past one-star general, you stop being really more of a soldier and you become more of a politician at the time. So you become a politician and you start thinking more in terms of politics. The only thing that differentiates you from a politician is the fact that you're wearing a uniform. But there is much thought into once you become a general, because remember, once these promotions start coming, it takes an act of Congress to get promoted to those high ranks. So your promotion depending on acts of government sometimes leads you to start swaying one way or the other politically. Well, with that, one of the things was that General McKenzie and General Milley had recommended that 2,500 troops stay in Afghanistan on the ground, and they admitted that these statements reach the president. The president, however, has denied that publicly, that he was not advised in any way or capacity uh, that he was to maintain some troops, or that they recommended that you maintain some troops in Afghanistan. Now, that seems to be an issue because if the president is sincere in saying that he did not get that information, then, and he's being truthful, and the generals are saying that they personally informed or advised the president to maintain some troop presence in Afghanistan, then what is going on with the president? Is he having problems remembering, or is it just an outright lie? So those are things that we need to think about. All right. So enough on that subject. The other subject matter is the spending bill, which is $3.1 trillion plus 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 plus, where the politicians are saying that it's paid for and it's going to cost zero. I've seen politicians say it's costing you zero. That one of those politicians being the president. Zero. Okay. How is that going to happen? Their contention is that they're going to make the millionaires and billionaires pay their fair share. when we've already done the math and we know that if we were to tax them at 100%, which is mean take all their money, put it together, it doesn't even come close to paying that. So we're talking about a spending bill that has some ungodly amount of money for trees, $700 billion or something like that. We have another uh, that's for some kind of immigration reform, which they're trying to sneak in there. Uh, well, not really reform; it's more of an amnesty program, and all kinds of pork, left and right, all while uh, trying to tell you that you're not going to get taxed if you make over $400,000 a year. Yet, there's another big chunk of money being spent also in increasing the size of the IRS. And they're also going to be asking the IRS to go ahead and monitor uh, any transaction over $600, which as of last night, they changed it to $10,000, which means that the IRS is going to force the banks to hand over your financial information to the IRS so they can monitor you. That to me doesn't fly. That's just kind of way too much government intrusion. Uh, it should be the money that you declare, but yet they want to see if you're spending $600 or more. So they'll know whether you went and spent $600 on clothing or maybe your intimate shopping. What your items that you buy uh, every day, or some of the items that may be unmentionable. Maybe you got some private proclivities that which you like to purchase some items that are nobody's business. So we're seeing the government trying to intrude in your life more and more and more. This is a problem. When you have the government wanting to know what you're spending every single dime on, that is a problem. But I digress a little bit. I do, but I don't because it's all along the same line. So you have that bit of spending there in which they want to get into your business and know where you spend every cent. The other is the things that they're trying to sneak into this bill, and then of course they wait till it's time to fund the government to try to go ahead and sneak in things in the bill. This thing is a monstrosity. It's about 2,500 pages plus plus plus. So you have a problem with that. So these are the things that you need to look at when you are supporting or whether you're talking about. Of course, they're always going to give you the highlights. This is kind of like a lot of unions when they try to push crappy contracts down the workers' throats. They just give you these highlights, but then they don't give you the hidden languages that's hidden within the contract, the little things that they can get you on all the time. But some of the representatives are pointing out things. It's true. You're going to get taxed one way or the other. We're getting taxed right now with inflation, which more and more economists are saying it's not going to be transitory. It used to cost our family $25 to $30 to fill our tanks. We got two vehicles in our family because we got a large family, and of course, my wife works and I work. So now it's costing us upwards of $50 plus in certain on certain days. Nevertheless, it's not costing us $25 to $30 anymore. It's $40 or more, which cuts down on something else, namely probably foodstuffs and or clothing for the children. Uh, so we're taking a hit. Uh, for those of you who smoke, they'll probably tax the crap out of cigarettes. Tobacco keeps going up and up and up and up. They'll try to tax other things. Oh well, smoking is bad for you, whatever. But That's the other thing, the government intrusion into everything that you want to do. This country was based on, you know, liberties given, whether you want to say by God, but by nature, whatever. We got some natural freedoms that are being overlooked. And one of the biggest things for me is liberty and the pursuit of happiness. The pursuit of happiness includes a lot of different things in our life. So, from just a regular citizen's point of view, taxing me here, where from the things that I do enjoy, whether they're bad for me or not, those are my choices. And taking choice away from from individuals is for me is a big no-no. uh, Most of us are law-abiding citizens. We don't get into people's business. We don't rob, steal, pillage, rape, and things like that. So why are you trying to intrude into my life? So the statement that it's cost zero is a lie. It's going to cost something, and somebody's got to pay for it. And they sure as hell are not the ones paying for it. We are. So they will be coming after every single penny that they can get in any way, form possible. The other thing that I wanted to talk a little bit about is the anti Semitism rising in the Congress and in the uh, political ranks, trying to defund the Iron Dome of Israel, our number one ally. Uh, is just one more way that these radicals are trying to uh, infiltrate themselves into our government and trying to destabilize uh, probably the only well, it is the only democracy in the Middle East. But that being said, is probably the only thing that keeps the Middle East somewhat stable. Politicians need to grab these items instead of trying to ram them all into one bill every time so they can go ahead and sneak in their little special projects is a travesty. They need to go to work like every one of us does every day and work in one piece of legislation at a time instead of trying to introduce everything at once. These are strategies that these politicians have been doing for decades just to maintain power. And it's about time that we start thinking about giving these folks, uh, trying to eliminate their tenure, if you will, and trying to start implementing limits uh, and forcing them to retire. Some of them have been in there for 50 plus years, and they have done accomplished nothing. They have made a career out of being politicians, and that was not the intent. The intent was for them to serve their country and move on later on in life. So this is our episode for today. We will be talking about some other things coming up in the near future. There are some other issues that we as regular citizens talk about with our families every day and our friends and co-workers. And these are the things that we're trying to bring attention to you because these are the things that affect our everyday lives. Also, a little message for President Biden. Why don't you start saying bless the United States of America? Is it because you're looking for more of a global government rather than independent states? That always kind of made me wonder. You never say, God bless the United States of America. Why is that, Mr. President? Once again, thank you for listening. This is the Carlos M. Show. I am Carlos M., and I look forward to seeing you. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and look for more podcasts and more video casts coming out. Thanks. If you're going to work today, please be safe. If you're at home with your loved ones, tell them you love them, for tomorrow's never promised, and may your God bless you.